Coming up next on Locked On Devils, do I really have to do this? Yes, I have to do this. Of course, I am going to not watch the national championship and instead watch two bad hockey teams duke it out at the Saddle Dome. We're previewing Devils Flames next on Locked On Devils. Ugh. It's going to be a late night, folks.
You're Locked On Devils, your daily podcast on the New Jersey Devils.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Guys, I really don't want to stay up for this one. It's too damn bad. This is Locked On Devils, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network in the world. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. NFL divisional round just wrapped up. FanDuel is officially in playoff mode. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Today is the College Football National Championship in Miami. The Hoosiers versus the U. And I will not be watching it because instead I will be watching two bad hockey teams square off with their seasons basically over at the Scotiabank Saddle Dome in Calgary, Alberta, 9 p.m. Eastern puck drop. The New Jersey Devils 24-22-2 against the Calgary Flames 21-23-4. I have no idea what to expect out of this game because you're looking at at two teams that are both extremely mediocre at best, two teams almost at the bottom of their respective conferences and standings, two teams separated by just 4 points in the standings, two completely milquetoast offenses and milquetoast records, 4-6-0. New Jersey in their last 10, Calgary 5-5-0 in their last 10. These two teams are mirror images of one another in many aspects, which is not encouraging when the New Jersey Devils fancied themselves as Stanley Cup contenders. Stanley Cup coming into this season. I'm intrigued in it might be terrible, but we'll see what happens. Coming off of his hysterically bad performance in Newark against the Carolina Hurricanes, Jacob Markstrom will be playing tonight in his old home in Calgary. 12-11-1, 879 save percentage. He's allowing 3.37 goals against Dustin Wolf, who has been, I guess you can say, disappointing. He's only got a 900 right now. Devin Cooley's been pretty good alongside him, but Dustin Wolf, 15-19-2, save percentage right at 900. He's been better as of late, but I guess still a disappointing season for Wolf, who I was hoping to see possibly even get a Team USA call-up, but does not seem to be the case. Calgary is going through a little bit of a transition period, and that starts with Rasmus Andersson, the longtime Flames defenseman, getting dealt from Calgary to the Vegas Golden Knights. That happened over the weekend. Calgary received defenseman Zach Whitecloud, a 2027 first-round pick, a conditional 2028 second-rounder, and Abraham Wiebe, who is currently playing at the University of North Dakota. I guess Vegas as their Alex Pietrangelo replacement. And this is interesting right now because Calgary retains 50% of Andersson's $4.55 million salary. Now, how much of this deal could potentially lay the groundwork for what a Dougie Hamilton contract could look like? I think it's a really valid question right now. There's your market for a right-handed shot defenseman. Andersson, of course, is not an offensive guy like Dougie is, but this is Vegas' all-in move. I'm not sure how much more they can do given the cap situation, although the cap does not necessarily exist in Las Vegas, Nevada, or has never existed under Kelly McCrimmon's tenure as GM there. So you're going to have a new look Flames team taking the ice. I'd expect White Cloud to suit up for Calgary. Haven't seen lines yet for the Flames. Players you're going to want to keep an eye on. Connor Zary has 6 points in his last 6. Mikhail Backlund, 2 goals in his last 5. Zary also 4 assists in his last 6 games. Points-wise, the Flames are led by Nazem Kadri, who has been floated around as a potential Devils trade target. Spoiler alert, they're not getting him because Tom Fitzgerald, A, has no way of winning that contract or that trade, and B, is probably just going to come in second anyway. Kadri has 33 points in 48 games, 8 goals, 25 assists. And he leads the scoring for the folks from Calgary, Alberta. Other players to watch, Matthew Coronado has 13 goals in 47 games played. And then perhaps a disappointing campaign for Jonathan Huberdeau, only 21 points in 43 games played, 8 goals, 13 assists. And that's not getting into the former Devils. And there are 3 of them on this team. You can guarantee that at least one of them will score. You can bet on that on FanDuel. Yeah. Having the best season of his career, Kevin Ball. Shout out Kevin Ball, part of the Jacob Markstrom trade. 3 goals, 7 assists, 10 points. He's also a plus 12. So he's having himself a very good season. Was also extended right before the season began. Only former Devils defenseman on Calgary. Of course, you also have Pickles, Blake Coleman. 44 games played, 13 goals, 8 assists, 21 points. He's a plus 10. As well as Yegor Sharangovich, who was sent over to Calgary in the Tyler Toffoli trade. Yes. 19 points in 44 games played. He's a minus 13. One of them is going to score tonight. I don't know who, but one of the ex-Devils will score tonight. That is a promise. I feel very confident telling you that. It's about as good of financial advice I can give you. So yeah, go on FanDuel and definitely place that. Like that, I can almost assure you is going to happen. What do I think is going to happen in this game? I think the New Jersey Devils lose. Now, why? Because I have zero faith, and this is a game they should win, and they won't. Simple as that. The Devils need 3 wins out of these 4 on this road trip. You have Calgary, Edmonton without Leon Draisaitl. Now, that is a back-to-back. Vancouver, who's the worst team in the National Hockey League, that yet the New Jersey Devils have already lost to this year. And the Seattle Kraken, who the Devils beat last week. If the New Jersey Devils want to save their season, it has to begin with a win tonight. If they don't win tonight, they have to win every other game in this road trip. And if they don't get 6 out of 9 points or more, I am comfortable declaring the season over. Now, it's funny. I texted Rob DeLuca, our friend, you've seen him on this show before, after the Columbus game. You remember the Brendan Dillon 1000th game where the Devils blew a 2-0 lead. Dillon got hurt. It was a whole kerfuffle. It was a nightmare game. That was the definition of a game where I felt like the team was, every so often as a joke, I'll declare like season's over vibe-wise. That was the game to me that I was like, season's over unless they figure it out. What has been the New Jersey Devils record since that game? Because that was the game where you officially felt like they were in trouble. And since that point in time, they have less than 10 wins. I can tell you that much. I need to look and double check and make sure that I have the exact numbers down. Because since that game, I wouldn't be surprised if they have the worst record in the National Hockey League. Let's see. Loss versus Dallas. Loss versus, okay. I'm going to do this live because I just kind of feel like it. 1 loss, 2 loss, 3 loss, 1 win. So 1-3, 1-4, 2-4, 2-5, 3-5, 4-5, 4-6, 4-7, 4-7-1, 4-8-1, 5-8-1, 6-8-1, 6-9-1, 6-10-1, 6-11-1, 6-12-1, 7-12-1, 8-12-1, 8-13-1. The New Jersey Devils are 8-14 pretty much since that game. Has to be one of the worst records in the National Hockey League, if not the worst, in that span. And I might have caught some flack on Twitter for speaking my mind yet again. I was told I need to see a therapist. I already do see a therapist, by the way. Therapy's good. You should absolutely your mental health is important, especially if you're a New Jersey Devils fan. But I think the New Jersey Devils are at the point in time where if they don't figure it out on this road trip, everybody, and I mean everybody, and that is capital E, everybody should be on the trade block that can be traded. But what about Jack? Jack can be traded. But what about Nick? Nico can be traded. I get it. It would mean blowing it up, starting it over, and rebuilding again. And I get it. That is getting rid of a lot of talent. Now, riddle me this, Batman. How much did the Buffalo Sabres win with Jack Eichel, Sam Reinhart, Ryan O'Reilly, Evan Rodriguez, Linus Ullmark on that team? Not that much. And guess what? They still needed to blow it up. Sometimes some cry. Yeah. Sometimes the group just doesn't work. If the New Jersey Devils were to move off Nico Hischier, Jack Hughes, or Jesper Bratt, or Timo I am pretty confident, A, because it would spite us, and B, because they're good players, that they'd find a way to win elsewhere. But they have not proven that they can do so as New Jersey Devils, and they've been around here long enough to the point where, frankly, I just think you need to rip the Band-Aid off. If you don't rip the Band-Aid off and blow this group up, it is going to be a slow, painful drag to the bottom. This team is going to be dragged kicking and screaming into another rebuild. You either have to embrace it, or it will take you over and embrace you. I would love so badly to be wrong about this, but I've reached the point where no matter what you assemble around Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, Jesper Bratt, so on and so forth, I have zero faith that this team is ever winning anything with this core. I am sick and tired of hearing about the core. Blow the core up. And if that is Tom Fitzgerald's final act as GM, and I'm so afraid that he is going to instead make some panic trade to try and save his job, I will have a lot more respect for him than I do right now. There is nothing I would like to see more as a Devils fan after accepting the fact, and I think there is a collective level of acceptance in my brain after Saturday's game where if this team wants to prove that they can win and can be taken seriously, it has to start against the boogeyman against Carolina on Saturday. And instead, they got goalied by a guy with an .864 save percentage coming in. Nobody can finish. They are mentally weak. They are broken. And this just is not working. And if you do not, and I repeat, if you do not accept that and try and figure out a way to start over, then you're just kicking the can down the road. And that there is not a scenario where I see the New Jersey Devils, even with a new GM, getting this group anywhere further than where they've already been, which is Game 5 of the second round. I think it's over. I just think barring something crazy, it is over this contention window, which never truly opened. And yes, Tom Fitzgerald is absolutely to blame for that and should be fired, should have been fired months ago, days ago, years ago. You get the point. But a big part of it is on these top players not performing when they're supposed to. Sheldon Keefe cannot make Jesper Bratt or Nico Hischier or Jack Hughes learn how to finish. And yes, it's the fault of the general manager for failing to build around them. But I just don't see it happening. I think you gotta napalm the whole building, blow it up, start over. Hope you get lucky in the lottery. Because if you don't do that, you're delusional. You're either competing, rebuilding, or delusional. That's always my mindset in the NHL, and the Devils are as delusional as they come right now. So who's the future? If the New Jersey Devils' current core can't win now, maybe the future core could. Well, we don't know what the future core is because the farm system sucks, except for one guy who might be a future piece. We don't know. Coming up on Locked On Devils after the break. Welcome to the National Hockey League, Lenni Haminaho, who I'm excited to see take the ice in Calgary tonight. What can we expect out of Lenni? And could he be maybe a solution to the Devils' problems? We'll find out. Today's episode is brought to you by the lovely folks at FanDuel. FanDuel is officially in playoff mode. Every game day during the NFL playoffs, FanDuel is officially giving customers even more ways to get in on the action because right now, every NFL playoff game day, FanDuel users get a profit boost pack waiting for them inside the app. Each game day, you'll see a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts that you can use to lean into your game day instincts, whether you're backing momentum, defense, quarterback, player, coaching. Every play feels bigger, and the boosts make your bets feel that way too. You make your picks, then apply your profit boost to go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every playoff game day. Welcome back to Locked On Devils. This is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the number one podcast network for sports in the world. And we are talking Devils Flames, and congratulations to New Jersey Devils second round draft pick from 2023, Lenni Haminaho. Let's see if Don LaGreca or Ken Danico gets those names right. But he will be making his NHL debut tonight at the Scotiabank Saddledome. Excited for him, happy for him. Could he be part of the solution? I certainly hope so. Well, what can Devils fans expect out of Lenni Haminaho other than the fact that he's not Luke Glendening? Thank freaking God he is no longer part of the lineup. We finally are seeing Luke Glendening, who's maybe the worst Devil I've ever seen, benched. Whew. Haminaho was called up ahead of Saturday's game in Newark against Carolina. Native of Kajaani, Finland. I'm not sure if I'm getting that right. He's 6'1", 185 pounds, a right-handed shooter, the second round pick in 2023. And he was Utica's leading point getter this season. So I know Utica's been terrible, but I think people are excited to see what he has. 33 games. He's got 21 points with the Comets, 9 goals, 12 assists. He's a heady, intelligent player and somebody who I think is going to be exciting. He's slotting in on third line right wing with Cody Glass and Arseny Gritsyuk. I'm actually very excited about that line. I think that line has potential to be a lot of fun. No, excuse me. That is fourth line. Yeah, Lamico and Glendening are out. It is Dadonov, Cotter, Brown for Dadonov, Cotter, and Brown, not Dadonov, Connor Brown for the third line, and then fourth line, Gritsyuk, Glass, Haminaho. Okay, that makes more sense. That line gives me a reason to buy into this game. That line has me excited. It's something new. It's something different. Something the Devils have needed. New and different is exciting when the Devils have not really given us many new and or different things. So, you know what? Consider me in for tonight's game. I'm excited to see how it's going to go down. But at the same time, I don't want to be sitting here and huffing hopium necessarily. Like, the Devils really need a player like Haminaho to hit because they're the 6th oldest roster in the National Hockey League. How is Tom Fitzgerald allowed to do this to this roster? Like, oh my God, every time you think it can't possibly get worse, it does. Like, this is just a generational butchering of an NHL roster that was in such good terms coming in. Oh my God. Like, every time I even get into it, I get mad again. I should probably stop doing that. Like, no, I can't stop doing that. What am I saying? Fire Tom Fitzgerald. Like, please, dear God, fire Tom Fitzgerald. Do not let him make this roster that is already bad any worse. Yeah, every time I think about it, I get mad all over again. They need to win 3 out of 4 games in this trip. No excuses, no BS. And Tom Fitzgerald, you need to start getting on Indeed and looking for new jobs. Oh, by the way, today's episode is brought to you by our friends at Indeed. If you've ever hired someone who looked good on paper but wasn't the right fit, you know how important that is. When you want candidates who truly match what you're looking for, trust Indeed. Sponsored jobs hiring? Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your post seen on other job sites. Indeed sponsored jobs put your post at the top of the page and help you reach the right candidates faster. If I needed to hire someone for this show, I'd go straight to Indeed and very specific about what I need. Real experience, not just a resume buzzword. Sponsored jobs boost your post to the people who are the best match for the role, and that makes a real difference. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed are 90% more likely to report a hire than non-sponsored jobs. Spend more time reviewing candidates who check all your boxes with less stress, less time, and more results using Indeed sponsored jobs. Listeners of this show get a $75 sponsored job credit to help give your job the premium placement it deserves at Indeed.com/lockedon. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support the show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, do it the right way with Indeed. Please, I hope the Devils are hiring a GM sometime soon. Fire Tom Fitzgerald. Let's go, Devils. Find a way to win tonight, and I'd love to see Lenni pot 1. So, fingers crossed. We will talk in the morning.